Wang Baoqiang was born in 1982 in a modest home in Nanhai County, Xingtai, Hebei Province. As the first child of Wang Yinsheng and Liu Huande, he came into the world with dark skin and a frail, tiny body. His mother, Liu Huande, once wept in fear that her weak little boy might not survive the hardships of childhood. Yet only a few years later, that same child who had worried his mother proved to be strong-willed and determined. At 6 years old, Wang Baoqiang and his friends trekked more than 5 miles through mountain paths to a neighboring village just to watch a movie. Before the old, tattered screen, he was completely captivated by every scene in Shaolin Temple starring Jet Li, secretly dreaming that one day he would learn martial arts and become an actor himself. That dream grew stronger with each passing day. When he returned home, young Wang Baoqiang boldly told his parents he wanted to go to the Shaolin Temple to study martial arts. His parents dismissed it as childish fantasy, never realizing how determined he really was. Every day he begged them, and once, after being refused again, he ran away from home, wandering through the fields until he collapsed and fell asleep in the corn. With no other choice, when Wang turned 8, his parents finally agreed to let him go to the Shaolin Temple. Because of their poor financial situation, he could only become a lay disciple there, rather than a full-time monk, at the Shaolin Temple on Mount Songshan. From the very first day, Wang Baoqiang had to adapt to a life of relentless, grueling training that lasted 6 full years. At Shaolin Temple, he lived with over 20 fellow disciples, waking up at 5 a.m. every morning to run, stretch, and practice stances. Afternoons were spent studying academic subjects, and evenings were for physical conditioning. Twice a week, they had to run the long route from the Shaolin Temple to downtown Dengfeng and back again, no matter the weather. The training intensity kept increasing, often pushing Wang's small body to exhaustion. One day, after hours of holding a horse stance, he was so tired he forgot to take off his socks. By morning, they had stuck to his skin because of the blood that had seeped through, leaving his teachers heartbroken. During those long, difficult years, Wang Baoqiang was constantly homesick. But to save money, his father never once came to visit him. There was a public phone booth at the foot of the mountain, but the fee was too expensive, and Baoqiang had no money anyway. The only thing he could do was write letters and send a few photos home. When Liu Huande received his letters, she broke down in tears, blaming her husband for never once checking on how their son was surviving so far from home. Amid the loneliness, Baoqiang still held on to a small but unwavering hope. From time to time, film directors would come to the Shaolin Temple to shoot movies and pick a few disciples to appear as extras. Baoqiang always silently wished to be chosen, but because he was still too young, that chance never came. As time went by, 3 years after completing the basic training, Baoqiang was finally allowed to learn martial arts forms. His arms began to firm up, and his senior brothers told him he was becoming a man. He felt confident that if he kept training hard, the next time a director came to film, he would surely get his chance. Every time he took photos with his fellow disciples, he would joke, "When I become famous, these pictures will be worth a lot." Everyone would laugh, but Wang Baoqiang didn't mind. That belief only grew stronger once he was allowed to perform outside the temple. At 12 years old, he joined the Shaolin warrior monks, performing martial arts shows and earning a small income. 2 years later, when his skills had matured and he had saved a bit of money, Wang Baoqiang decided to leave his master and fellow disciples behind and head to Beijing on his own in search of a better life. Although he was excited about his new journey, he still wanted to visit the place where he had grown up. Before setting out, he went home to see his family. That day, he walked in with his shaved head while Liu Huande was cooking. When she turned around and saw him, she was startled and asked, "Who are you looking for?" She didn't even recognize her own son. After the initial confusion, mother and son sat down to a simple dinner together. The air was warm but quiet. At that time, Wang Yinsheng was still working odd jobs away from home. When he returned, Baoqiang told him that he wanted to go to Beijing to become an actor. His father asked if he had any money, and Baoqiang nodded, saying he had saved up a little. Wang Yinsheng didn't say much. he simply told his son to go, adding softly that maybe, just maybe, he would make something of himself. But no sooner had that dream begun than it was immediately tested. The first year in Beijing was the hardest time in Wang Baoqiang's life. On his very first day in the capital, he was scammed and lost all his money. Later, he rented a cramped room for $270 a month, sharing it with 5 other people. Summers were stifling, winters were freezing, and there wasn't even a place to shower. Despite those rough living conditions, Baoqiang never gave up. Every morning, he got up at 4 a.m. and ran to the gates of the Beijing Film Academy, waiting for a chance to be chosen as an extra. The place was always crowded with dreamers just like him. Once, he even slept overnight on a tree branch outside the academy gates, hoping that the next morning a director would notice him first. He didn't just give his time, he also sacrificed every bit of money he had to chase opportunities. On a lucky day, Baoqiang might earn $2. Instead of spending it on food, he used it to print photos of himself, which he sent to martial arts troupes or assistant directors. Once, someone threw his photo straight into a trash can right in front of him, mocking him for being short, speaking poorly, and saying he'd never become an actor. Baoqiang said nothing. He simply picked up the photo and walked away. Because he spent nearly all his money printing those photos, Baoqiang barely had anything to eat. One Lunar New Year's Eve, he was so hungry that he went the entire day without food. In desperation, he knocked on a neighbor's door and asked for 5 steamed buns. He ate all 5 in one sitting, choking from fullness, but he didn't dare drink any water, afraid the buns would expand and make his stomach hurt. But even that difficult life didn't end there. During that time, Wang Baoqiang lived in a cramped dormitory for background actors. The small room was packed with dozens of people. From 1998 to 2004, one by one, most of them gave up on their dreams and left. Only Wang Baoqiang stayed, refusing to quit. Amid the flood of people flocking to Beijing in search of opportunities, Wang Baoqiang was just another nameless face, but he was among the most persistent and determined of them all. Once, during a scene where a soldier was supposed to kick him down, he threw himself into a ditch to make the shot look more realistic. Instead of being praised for his dedication, the director got angry, thinking he had overacted beyond what was asked for. Even though he was misunderstood, Baoqiang didn't give up. When he was hired as a stuntman for a historical drama, he was assigned a scene where he had to fall from a tall ladder onto the ground. Though his legs were trembling, he repeated the stunt over and over until his elbows were bleeding. After 2 days of filming, everyone on set knew his name: Wang Baoqiang, the fearless stuntman who never backed down. But when the show finally aired, even he didn't know which episode he had appeared in. Then came a truly life-changing opportunity. In 2002, Wang Baoqiang joined a film crew that he later jokingly called a fraud. There was no professional set. The scenes were shot deep inside a dark mine. The lead actor ran away in fear, forcing the director to pick a replacement from over 1,000 aspiring actors gathered outside the Beijing Film Academy. Among them, Wang Baoqiang was unexpectedly chosen because he fit the role perfectly. Still, the shoot was extremely dangerous. Less than 2 hours after the crew left the site one day, the mine suddenly collapsed. But Wang Baoqiang stayed committed, knowing this was a once-in-a-lifetime chance he couldn't afford to miss. That perseverance finally paid off. In 2003, the film Blind Shaft was officially released. To everyone's surprise, an unknown actor like Wang Baoqiang went on to win the Golden Horse Award for Best Newcomer. Although he only earned $274 for the independent film, he was overjoyed. He treated himself to a bowl of noodles and sent $205 home with a letter saying he was doing fine in Beijing and they didn't need to worry. That success opened new doors in his career. Wang Baoqiang no longer had to worry about getting roles. He even began choosing scripts himself. Around that time, the renowned director Feng Xiaogang, impressed by Wang's raw and honest acting in Blind Shaft, offered him the lead role of Sha Gen in A World Without Thieves. Wang Baoqiang accepted the offer. Once on set, he worked with the same fearless spirit as before. In one scene that required drawing blood, he allowed the nurse to take real blood from his arm. When filming wrapped, his arm was bruised and swollen. Feng Xiaogang, a director not easily impressed, believed that if the film became a hit, the one who would shine the brightest would be Wang Baoqiang. That belief wasn't just shared by the crew, it was also a quiet hope held by his family. When Wang called home, he simply said he was acting alongside Andy Lau. His family was skeptical. No one dared believe it was true. It wasn't until the film premiered that they finally realized it. Their son had truly made it. From then on, Wang Baoqiang's career continued to rise. He took on a role in a military film, which required him to train in an actual army camp like a real soldier. One day, he secretly called home and told his father he had joined the army. When his father heard that Special Forces soldiers were using real guns, he was stunned. He shared that he himself had served in the army when he was young, though only as a cook. For the first time, Wang Baoqiang felt he and his father could talk openly, like friends. Because of how deeply he immersed himself in his roles, the 2006 television drama Soldier Sortie became a nationwide phenomenon as soon as it aired. Wang Baoqiang shot to fame across the country. Looking back on the filming process, he recalled that the screenwriter once got angry because he couldn't tell the difference between Sanduo, the character, and Wang Baoqiang himself. His acting was so real that it felt as though the man and the role had become one. That authenticity carried over into his later performances. In 2009, in the film My Brother is Xun Liu, Wang Baoqiang played the hero Xun Liu and even invited his real father to portray the character's father. When the film was completed and they returned to their village, his father watched his scene over and over again. The neighbors teased him, saying how lucky he was to have such a talented son. As Wang Baoqiang's career became more stable, he started thinking about settling down. He met Ma Rong, a beauty queen from Northwest University, and from their very first meeting, he felt she was the right person to build a family with. In 2009, the couple quietly held a private wedding ceremony, and soon after, their first son Wang Zihao was born. Baoqiang focused on his acting career, while Ma Rong stayed home to take care of their child. In those early years, their family lived peacefully and happily. Around that same time, Wang Baoqiang began making his mark in comedy. He starred in Lost in Thailand, which earned him the Most Popular Actor award at the 20th Beijing College Student Film Festival. His career continued to soar when he collaborated with Chen Xicheng on the Detective Chinatown film series. Thanks to its box office success, Baoqiang became one of the few actors whose total gross exceeded $2 billion, ranking just behind Wu Jing, Huang Bo, and Shen Teng. With his career on the rise, his personal life also began to attract attention. In 2011, Wang Baoqiang and Ma Rong officially went public with their relationship and welcomed their second child, a daughter named Wang Zisan. From then on, their images frequently appeared in the media, especially during special occasions. At their 6th anniversary celebration, Wang Baoqiang wrote Ma Rong's name beside his on the red carpet and even knelt down to profess his love. However, Ma Rong seemed indifferent, her eyes fixed on the stage. When Wang Baoqiang kissed her, her stiff, distant expression made the moment look more like a scripted performance than a genuine display of affection. That coldness was perhaps the first sign of something wrong. In 2015, in an effort to give Ma Rong the perfect wedding she never had, Wang Baoqiang organized a grand ceremony abroad and brought along an entire media team. In a group photo taken before their flight, online users quickly noticed Ma Rong and Song Jae, Wang Baoqiang's manager, behaving unusually close. Not long after, Ma Rong even posted a cartoon drawing featuring a man who looked suspiciously like Song Jae. The rumors grew stronger, but it wasn't until 2016 that Wang Baoqiang was forced to face the painful truth. And so, on August 14, 2016, Wang Baoqiang publicly announced his divorce, accusing Ma Rong of having an affair with Song Jae and conspiring with him to embezzle his assets. A video of the two in intimate situations soon circulated online, sending shockwaves through the public. Many believe that Wang Baoqiang had caught them together at a hotel and, in a moment of outrage, decided to expose everything. However, despite the public outrage surrounding the scandal, Wang Baoqiang remained calm and immediately filed for divorce without engaging in arguments or drama. By then, most of his assets had already been transferred away by Ma Rong and Song Jae, leaving him with only about $1,800 in his account, not even enough to cover legal fees. Out of options, he had to borrow $411,000 from Chen Xicheng and still paid $246,000 in taxes on that loan. But things didn't end there. While the divorce case was still being processed by the court, Ma Rong did something that deeply wounded Wang Baoqiang again. She and a male friend broke into his house by force, then deliberately injured herself while holding a pair of scissors, crying and screaming in front of a camera to fabricate evidence accusing her husband of domestic violence. At the time, Wang Baoqiang's mother was home alone. Terrified by the commotion, she fainted and had to be rushed to the hospital. A few days later, doctors diagnosed her with a brain tumor. Even as tensions escalated, Ma Rong continued to appear in front of the media, making provocative statements. She insisted that her relationship with Song Zhou was pure, while accusing Wang Baoqiang of having an affair in Chengdu. In response to these allegations, Wang Baoqiang publicly denied them once, then chose complete silence to avoid fueling further controversy. After months of legal battles, the court finally ruled that Ma Rong had committed adultery. Custody of their son was granted to Wang Baoqiang, while their daughter remained with Ma Rong. Song Zhou was sentenced to 6 years in prison for abuse of power and embezzlement. The truth had finally come to light. During the 3 turbulent years of divorce proceedings, Wang Baoqiang's mother passed away, a loss that became the greatest heartbreak of his life. What tormented him most was realizing that when he finally wanted to repay her love, it was already too late. Even while she was alive, she had carried deep sorrow and worry over her son's failed marriage. Out of that pain, Wang Baoqiang chose to close the chapter on his past. He stopped discussing his personal relationships and avoided mentioning his former marriage. For a long time, he withdrew from the spotlight and nearly disappeared from the entertainment industry. Quietly, he devoted himself to his work, pouring his heart into the film Shaolin Temple, a project tied to the childhood dream he had when he was just 8 years old. In an interview, when talking about his childhood, Wang Baoqiang grew emotional as he recalled those difficult years. His father, still strong back then, would discipline him with a stick, while his mother cooked meals and gently patted his head, telling him that acting in movies was just a fantasy. They couldn't even afford candy, so little Wang would pick up discarded candy wrappers and hold them up to the light, gazing through the thin paper. Through that colorful film, he imagined a whole sky of dreams waiting for him beyond his reach. Those memories of a poor but hopeful childhood became the driving force that kept Wang Baoqiang striving forward. Although he has never officially received a Best Actor award, his acting skill and experience are still highly respected in the industry. When his film won the Best Screenplay award, it brought comfort to audiences who admired his perseverance. During his acceptance speech, he tearfully said the award was a well-deserved recognition of his long and tireless journey. Looking at his smile that day, everyone could tell not winning Best Actor didn't trouble him anymore. Wang Baoqiang is known for his calm and humble nature. Even when he once received the Golden Broom Award, an award given for the worst film performance, he still attended the ceremony in person and accepted it graciously. He saw it as motivation to improve himself, something many other stars tend to avoid out of fear it might damage their public image. Wang never let fame make him arrogant. He respects every award, big or small. To him, true value lies in the love and recognition of his audience. Online, many people believe that after years of perseverance, Wang Baoqiang has finally earned the place he deserves in the hearts of the public. Around the same time, he poured all his effort into his film Never Say Never, which far exceeded expectations, grossing $301.6 million at the box office. Yet just as his career was shining at its brightest, an unexpected twist once again stirred public attention. Ma Rong, his ex-wife who had stayed out of the spotlight for years, suddenly reappeared. Throughout the release of Never Say Never, she had remained silent. But once the movie began making profits, she posted a public message congratulating Wang Baoqiang. However, her post caused controversy when, at the end, she added a remark urging him not to let success lead him astray and to stay true to his passion for acting. The contrast between her words and her actions only fueled public outrage. On social media, Ma Rong frequently posted pictures of herself traveling with their daughter, wearing luxury designer outfits. Many netizens commented that, instead of lecturing others, she should reflect on her own lifestyle and behavior. At the same time, Wang Baoqiang faced another troubling situation that left him unsettled. Media outlets reported that a social media account allegedly belonging to Song Jae had been discovered by netizens, where it repeatedly posted shocking and provocative statements. The account even claimed to feel no regret, refused to apologize, and vowed to take back everything that was lost, sparking widespread anger online. If the account truly belonged to Song Jae, such behavior would be a serious insult, both a personal attack and a deliberate act of emotional harm against Wang Baoqiang. And if it was created by an impersonator, it would be even more despicable, as it cruelly targeted a man who had only just begun to regain peace after enduring so much heartbreak. Even so, Wang Baoqiang's love life remains far from settled. His relationship with Feng Qing drew public attention when it became known, but Feng Qing herself soon faced controversy over reports of lawsuits related to poor company management and allegations of falsifying academic credentials. These negative stories not only damaged Feng Qing's public image, but also led people to question Wang Baoqiang's judgment in choosing her. In response, his fans defended him, saying that after such a painful marriage, what he truly needs is genuine love and trust, not harsh judgment from the outside world. Wang Baoqiang's journey is more than just the story of an actor. It's a testament to resilience, a reminder that even after betrayal, humiliation, and ridicule, a person can still rise above everything if they hold on to faith and stay true to a kind, honest heart. What do you think about this story? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe so you won't miss the next inspiring story.